Welcome to the Illuminati broadcast. I'm your host, David Moore. I am your messiah, and I live right next to a bus stop on Skid Row. Isn't that amazing? Yay. All right. So we're going to talk about something funny. Okay, so if you noticed in the last duel of Yu-Gi-Oh! With Yugi versus Seto in, I guess, Battle City Tournament domino stuff, Yugi uses Queen's Knight first. So let's say I'm Yugi. I summon Queen's Knight, and he Seto Kaiba, Jared Kushner, and he summons, I forget what, like a robot or something. But if you notice those robots, the XYZ Dragon robot cannon thingies, it's Slifer, it's Raw, and it's Obelisk, the Tormentor. So he combines them to make one giant ultimate weapon. But Yugi summons Queen's Knight. Who's Queen's Knight? Like, what about Jared Kushner and Queen's Knight? Because Yugi's reflecting Jared Kushner, so I'm reflecting Jared Kushner. Yugi's reflecting Seto, okay? So, Queen's Knight, who would that be? Maybe Ivana Trump, the daughter of Donald Trump? That'd be kind of interesting, right? Because she has a heart. She's like a card, like a Trump card. Whoa. Like an actual Queen of Hearts. So, and that's his love interest in real life, right? And in the next turn, Yugi summons King's Knight, or whatever his name is. But it's basically a blonde-haired man. The girl's blonde. And then he summons a Jack Knight. So basically, that's Ivana, Donald Trump, and then maybe Barron Trump. Who knows? Any of the sons, I guess. Or it could even be, Seto, actually. It could be Jared Kushner and Ivana. But isn't that interesting? I just wanted to share that. There's, like, you could see the animators take real-world influences. So he got this, like, big stage with Jared, Trump, and all these, like, Illuminati figures. And then you have this hidden Illuminati figure, Yugi, which is my character. Hidden, not very much known about. Just, that he's always winning, that he never loses no matter what. And I don't. So I don't lose. But I don't have that same power and respect that these guys have, because they're doing all this, like, really, they have all this money and force and action, and I have nothing, so I have to make something out of nothing. But basically, Yugi's reflecting Seto, and Seto's reflecting Yugi. Oh yeah, motorcycles love to run through here. I don't know why. It's crazy. It's like, you could be helping people, but they're not, It's a waste of life. I think that's a clue or a key. So Seto, he's doing everything Yugi should do. Yugi has all this power to summon all these great beasts, but Seto does it instead. And then Seto has this power to do all these good, loving things, but Yugi does that instead. It's very interesting. But I guess whatever cards Seto has should be the cards Yugi has, and whatever cards Yugi has should be the cards Seto has. Let's see, the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Let's go over his card number. His card number is 89, 63, 11, and 39. 8 is Barbatos. Barbatos is a duke. Paimon is number 9. He's a king. So right away it lets you know that it's a flying king. And yeah, Blue Eyes White Dragon is a flying king. He's flying around, and he's like super powerful. And what's interesting, he has 3,000 attack and 2,500 defense. Whoa. But in Barbatos, he has 30 legions of demons, so that's 3,000 attack. And then Paimon has 25 legions of demons, and that's 25 defense. Whoa, I think we just discovered some hidden synchronicities. Because remember, if they're synchronicities, it's not just random occurrences. It's perfectly planned out through the developers, through God, through the spirits, and on and on and on, all the way to us. So the 30th spirit is a Marquis, and the 25th spirit is a president, and he's an earl. So that lets you know that he can go to the borders. That's why they have that moon for Blue Eyes. And then they have the Mercury is Earth, so that's why he's so indestructible. And then he has Mars associated with that, so it lets you know that his defense is so strong that it can hurt you. So yeah, if you do attack into him, you're gonna lose life points. But so 63 is Andros, And he's a Marquise, and he has 30 legions of demons as well, and that's double moon water energy, so that's probably why he's so silvery and blue. But Andras, he turns against you. So if you notice, the first time Seto summons Blue Eyes White Dragon in the old manga, the Blue Eyes White Dragon turns against Seto and joins Yugi's team, because it originally belonged to Yugi's grandfather. So it's passed down from father to son, this power to summon that dragon. And it doesn't come from Seto, it comes from Yugi's family. And Blue Eyes White Dragon is seen as Horus, the god of, the kings of pharaohs. So Andras, the 63rd spirit is Andras. He is a great Marquise appearing in the form of an angel with a head like a black night raven, riding upon a strong black wolf, and having a sharp and bright sword flourished aloft in his hand. His office is to sow discords. If the exorcist have not a care, he will slay both him and his fellows. He governs 30 legions of spirits. Yeah, so that's the Blue Eyes White Dragon right there, right? It kind of looks like him too. You can see the wings. You can see him flying. He gets that jet effect, Let's move on a little bit. So 11 is Gusion. Let's probably do a little research on him. He's a duke, and he has 40 legions of spirits from Mars. So let's see, he's 11. Gusion. He tells all things past and present and to come, and shows the meaning and resolution of all questions thou may ask. He conceals and reconceals friendships, and gives honor and dignity unto any. Okay, so yeah, if you have Blue Eyes White Dragon, you're going to become super powerful, right? Like super well known. So I think maybe the next cards that I start using would be Blue Eyes. Even I love Blue Eyes White Dragon, but he's so powerful that it just takes away from the whole mechanic of people underestimating you. But I guess if I really wanted to make a name for myself, it would be in that direction. I have Mars and Cancer, so that means I need to use the moon and I need to use Mars together. So I need to use Cancer, this water energy, and this fiery energy together to be able to make money in my life, to bring fortune into my life. So that's really interesting that it has those correlations. Oh, I was born in 1989, and Blue Eyes Dragon number card is 89. And since I was born on the 27th, I land on that little dot right there in the corner, and that's 62 and 64, and so the next number is 63. So that lets me know that I'm already in synchronicity with him. Let's do 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's an air sign. Let's do 39. 36. 36. So we need 39, right? So 36, 38. So it would be 40. So it would be right here in the water. That's kind of around the time that I was born. So I guess Blue Eyes White Dragon is mine. All right, so, but that means Israel. So how can the Pharaoh of Egypt own Israel? How can he own that God? How does that make sense? So that means that history isn't exactly what people tell us it is. And even if it's written down or told in stories, they get, edited, but the heart of it is always true. So we're just digging in and we're grabbing the clues for ourselves and we're making a conclusion, right? So if I have this power over Israel, that's just very interesting. Like, how can I have power over Israel? Like, I'm darker, my eyes are dark, everything about me is dark. And then you have Seto, Jared Kushner. He's blue eyes, blonde hair. He's everything that the Jewish people would want, right? So there's this like duality and confliction and oppositions and mirroring a lot in the story. And also I believe maybe the story was more scarier than what they show it to be. Maybe Yugi was more dangerous. Maybe he was more powerful. Maybe he wasn't such a nice kid. Maybe there was more to it. Because when in the first mangas, he's pretty brutal. And then he starts softening up because he keeps dueling Seto and making friends and being able to like work out his inner conflict. 39 is Malphus. Let's read about Malphus real quick, okay? Malphus. I love that spirit. So, Malphus. The 39th spirit is Malphus. He appears at first like a crow, but after he will put on human shape at the request of the exorcist and speak with a hoarse voice. He is a mighty president and powerful. He can build houses and high towers. He can bring to thy knowledge enemies' desires and thoughts that which they have done. He gives good familiars. If thou makest a sacrifice unto him, he will receive it kindly and willingly, but he will deceive him that doth it. So yeah, like when Seto summons the blue eyes, it deceives him because it's like I'm super powerful, but then it just instantly disappears and joins Yugi's team, because he's like, I'm not gonna betray my master, you know. But he's a mighty president, powerful. He can build houses and high towers. Kaiba builds towers. He builds houses. And he does get the knowledge of enemies' desires and thoughts with that card. He's like, what is Yugi gonna do in this duel? What is he gonna do in this duel? How am I gonna beat him? He runs simulations. He gives good familiars. So yeah, Seto starts making more business partners, start working through things. So I guess, you know, it's kind of like a trade-off almost. Like they traded each other's souls. Or is it in a sense that Seto stole from Yugi? So Jared was like, oh shit, that's the Messiah. I'm going to steal from David. I'm going to take his wealth and his power, and I'm going to take everything that he should be doing and do it for myself. And part of me says there's nothing wrong with the fact that Jared does so much good for Israel. But that means nothing if I'm not a part of it. If he does all of that, it'll be for nothing. But if I do it, there'll be so much more rewards from it and a true connection to God. But if it's through Jared, it's not gonna be anything like that. It's just gonna be almost like the glory doesn't go to me, it goes to him. And that's not how it works. He's supposed to put all the glory on me. So he already broke a lot of the rules that are supposed to happen in the rise of the Messiah, right? So there's this imbalance, and it makes you wonder, like, do I have to use the blue eyes against him to destroy him? So do I have to use Israel to destroy him? Do I like tribute him to summon the blue eyes and then have it destroy everything else around it for everyone that went on his team and not on mine? And a part of me is like, I want Israel to do good with them, but it doesn't mean anything if it's not with me, because I'm the pure one, I'm the chosen one. Let's see. We have a video game called Tales of Symphonia, and there's this girl named Colette Brunel and this guy named Zelos, and they're both chosen, but they're on two different sides of the world. And that's kind of Jared and me right there, you know? But one can't live while the other one lives. It's just like that Harry Potter thing, and it is like a balance or a scale in the universes. And if one's doing better, the other one does worse. And if one does better, the other one does worse. But there's a balance. But he doesn't want that balance. So I'm like, well, I have to go here, knock him out, and create my own new balance, right? So let's start reading about Blue Eyes White Dragon real quick. So number 8, chapter or book 8 in the Bible is Ruth. It's about loyalty, providence, and redemption. It's about divine providence, loyalty, kindness, and Gentile inclusion and kinsman redeemer. So this girl named Ruth, she's married to a Jew. They're living a good life. Her husband dies. She stays with the mother-in-law. The mother-in-law has another son. They get married. Maybe I'm telling the story wrong, but whatever. And so it just lets you know that this lineage, they create King David. They create him. They are the predecessors to him. They bring the land together. They create Jerusalem and Israel and everything. Then you have book 9, which is Samuel. The rise of Sam, the intro to monarchy, and the rise of David. So Samuel's like, oh, we need a king for Israel. And that's so interesting, huh? That's how numerology, I forgot what the other word, gematria, etc. But that's how you prophesize and do divination and figure things out that way. Which is very, very cool that we can see that. And learn that. But it's just a shame because, like, if the Japanese could figure this out, and the Jewish priests that are supposed to be sages, wise men beyond all, like prophets and oracles, and they can't even do that, that's kind of pathetic and sad. But what they did do was work with like Fox and WB, which is LA, so that's Jewish already. And Jared Kushner's a part of that, and Donald Trump's a part of that. So that's why you get that King's Night, Jack's Night, etc. And that Trump card, right? And the card game. Oh, okay, so Japan and Israel are working together to create this. But there's something that's missing. Me. Like, they use me in there, the image of me, but they don't use the actual me. They're going off my story, off my life, but they're not working hand in hand with me. They're kind of like, all right, let's see if you can do it on your own and get up here with us. And I'm like, what? Get up there with you on my own? Like, no. Like, you should be down here with me and raise me up. Like, that's the way it's supposed to be. Like, come scoop me up. Like, what's up with that? Like, there's something wrong with that. So we'll figure it out eventually. All right. 63, Titus. Church, order, leadership, sound doctrine, behavior, transformation, grace, and relevance. So that's kind of what I was just talking about, like the relevance of it. Like, they don't want to change their behavior. The Jews don't want to bend their will to be like, let's help David do this. Let's help him get there. Let's be part of his team. Instead, they want to be opposition, right? So it's that leadership and sound doctrine. But then you got 11 kings, the temple, idolatry, the prophets, politics, Solomon's sovereign, and political maneuvering. So King David and Bathsheba had to find a way to make King Solomon the king, because everybody was not trying to let him be the king. And that kind of works with me, right? They don't want me to be the king. So they want to put Jared Kushner or somebody else there, or like whatever they want to put there. They just want to put somebody else there, but not me. Elon Musk, whoever, Donald Trump, doesn't matter. Like, but they're supposed to put me up there, you know? Horus, the main one, the lineage. I need to be in Israel, ruling over it, conquering the world. I need to be there, you know, being able to give the world what they need. I can make great decisions, but if they don't believe that, that makes me go, that hurts me, right? I'm like, whoa, you guys don't trust me and I'm your Messiah? Like, what the heck is up with that? All right, fine, I'll just blue eyes white dragon your asses, right? Okay, so that's politics and kings, right? And then you have 39, Jonah. It's about rebellion, it's about repenting, and it's about having a mission. Mercy and reluctant prophet. So Jonah was reluctant. He was like, I don't want to preach to anybody. I don't want to help nobody. I don't want to do none of that. And that's kind of how I am. I'm like, I don't want to help you damn Jews. I don't want to help anybody. Like, I'm Jewish, but I'm not the same kind of Jew as you guys. I'm better than y'all. Like, I actually believe in this stuff. You guys are just wannabes. And then you get that rebellion and that repentance and that mission. So it lets you know, like, they're rebelling against me. They're repenting against me. There's like this tension going on. It's like, they want to do everything their way, but they don't want to do it my way. So then you get these people in Hollywood. For me, I think Joey is Leo DiCaprio because he has that New York gang style, right? And my family comes from that mafia lifestyle, from New York, that Ashkenazi roots. And here it is in LA, and that just lets you know that there's this huge arm, this river, this strength of all of us combined together, this huge Illuminati group, and we're all pieces of it, and I'm right here at the tip of it, right at the heart of it all. And they're like using this arm to do what they want with it, but they're not worshiping the true God, which is me. And they do in a sense, but they keep their distance because they're afraid. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid to lose your power? Are you afraid to lose your respect? Are you afraid to admit that I'm right and you're wrong? Are you afraid to admit that you are right, that I am the right one, that I am the chosen one, that you should be helping me? Like, what's the problem? I wish I could get the truth out of them, but I just have to use the blue eyes on them, right? I don't know. I have to use Israel against them. I have to use all that power, all that strength. So we'll dig into Dark Magician next, and we'll figure out what's going on with him, because Dark Magician is going to be Jared Kushner, right? It's going to be Seto. So it's like, all right, what's up with him? Like, we got the idea of the blue eyes, that it's supposed to bring me to supremacy, but what does Dark Magician do for Seto? That's like a cool little thing. So if you're understanding like the lore and the history of everything that's going on that I've taught you, you can kind of dig into this world and you'll be like, oh, okay, this makes more sense. And you can look at your own family history, and it'll find its way to mine, where it says that I'm your boss. So yeah, that's the Illuminati conspiracy talk that I love to have with you guys, for entertainment purposes only, but not really. And I don't love you guys. Bye. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to be more positive, so maybe I do need to put love into you guys, something that gives you guys hope to be able to say, yeah, I can follow King David, I can follow the Messiah, David Moore. Yes, I can be a part of his team, and I hope you can. So thank you. Goodbye.